If you are in the United States of America and you are an immigrant, walk with your documents that prove that you are legally here. Let me say that again. If you are in the United States of America and you are an immigrant, walk with your legal documents on your person at all times in public. Documents that prove that you are legally here. Here's the thing. We thought before, ignoring this warning, which this warning was given, we thought before that ignoring this warning, ICE might make a mistake. They might take you down to a facility. They might lock you up. But you can always call and say, hey, get your cousin, your mommy, your daddy, your friend, whoever lives at the house. Hey, grab my paperwork and bring it here so these people can release me, please. Well, what's been happening is people have been out and about without their legal documents to prove they're here. They're legally here in the U.S., and once they get snatched up, they don't get a chance to call anybody to say, hey, grab my paperwork and bring it to this facility. Half of the time, it seems they don't even know where they're being taken to, where they are at. They're not getting due process. They are disappearing. And before you know it, they show up on a list of people that have been sent to El Salvador or somewhere else. Again, if you are an immigrant in the United States of America, walk with your legal documents at all times. This is not the time to be walking around saying, it can't happen to me. It happened to others. It can happen to you too. Welcome back to the channel, y'all. Here's another immigration situation update that we're going to talk about for a minute. Just put your ears this way and listen keenly. So, first of all, let me say this. What I've been noticing is everybody that has been deported or has been transferred or whatever word you want to use has been sent to El Salvador, to that maximum security prison. They're all Hispanic. They all look the part Hispanic. In other words, I haven't seen any black people or any Caucasian looking people sent there. They all have the same typical Hispanic look. Now, mind you, there are black people and there are also white Caucasian people, blonde hair, blue eyed, who are Hispanic. But I don't see them going there. So obviously they are stereotyping and looking for a certain look and a certain type. Now, I say that to say this. Don't think because you don't look like that, that you won't end up there as well. Big mistake. So we started the video out by saying, if you are an immigrant in the United States of America, please walk with your legal documents on you at all times that prove that you have a right to be here. It will save you from, in case you are surrounded, accosted, arrested, they won't have to go through any lengths to take you into custody. And then you become somebody's mistake and it's a oops. Well, since we sent him there already, let's just leave him or her there. You want to avoid this at all costs. Let me also say this. During the election, the Hispanic community voted heavily for Donald Trump. They voted heavily for Donald Trump because they thought that Donald Trump would protect them. They voted heavily for Donald Trump because I don't think they wanted to see a black woman in the presidency. This also goes along the lines of the racism that is undertoned in the Hispanic community. But they don't like when you talk about that stuff, but it exists. What I see happening now are people who have shot themselves in the foot. Had they known prior to voting that this was going to be the outcome and that their communities would have been hit the hardest, I don't think they would have. Matter of fact, I don't have to think. They have come out to start protesting and rallying. We're speaking about those who are American citizens but are Hispanics who voted that way, have now come out publicly to say we have been betrayed, we have been used, and we don't like Donald Trump anymore and we want changes. Well, guess what? It's too late. You helped to put him in power, and now you must suffer the consequences of what you voted for. So, along the lines of me watching what everybody voted for, get what they voted for, is me just updating people as to what's going on. I don't care one way or another. My status is good. My children's status is good, but I'm not a selfish person. I do feel some type of empathy for those in this particular situation, as in this story I'm about to give to you. Because a lot of the times when we tell people about things that can happen, they say stuff like, yeah, but it's never happened before. You're just scaring people by saying that this could happen. So let's give you one that did happen. A Venezuelan delivery driver disappeared after making a wrong turn. The Trump administration now claims that they know where he is. A lot of y'all do delivery work. A lot of y'all do Uber. A lot of y'all do Lyft. A lot of you do Grubhub, or what's the other one called? Uber Eats. A lot of you do that kind of stuff and pick up your extra money, or even do it full time for you to earn a living. Think of how easy it is for you to jump in your car, go off to do your Uber Eats deliveries, and you live in an area where you made a wrong turn or your car is surrounded by agents, and you just so happen to not have your paperwork on you today to say you are legally in the United States of America. And before you know it, you're out of your car, you're in handcuffs, you're in custody, you're taken to a facility, and you're shipped out of the country without even being given a chance to call some family members to say, hey, mama, can you bring my paperwork here so these people can let me go? And by the time your family figures out where you are in El Salvador, incarcerated. So in January of 2025, a delivery worker in Michigan had picked up an order from McDonald's, and he was on his way to the destination where he was supposed to deliver the McDonald's when he made a wrong turn on a bridge. That bridge took him into Canada. Canada is a whole different country. So he lives in an area where there's a border to a different country. Now, when Ricardo Prada Vasquez tried to re-enter the United States of America after taking that bridge that landed him over in Canada's side, when he tried to re-enter the United States of America from the Ambassador Bridge, the 32-year-old Venezuelan immigrant who is legally in the United States of America, he was detained by immigration authorities. Didn't have his paperwork on him. On March 15th, the same day, dozens of alleged gang members were summarily removed from the country and sent to an El Salvador prison. Prada told a friend in Chicago that he was detained in Texas and he was expecting to board a plane to Venezuela. So his whole family, his friend notified the family, and they're like, Texas? What are you doing in Texas? You went out to do deliveries and you made a wrong turn over the bridge, and now you're in Texas? Well, he was not on a leaked list of 238 names. So a list had leaked of 238 names of immigrants who would be sent to El Salvador. So everybody got the list. His name was not on the list. He was not identified in the photos of the men who were filmed inside of the jail getting their heads shaved while they were in shackles either. Attorneys and family members had no idea where he was located. Then, lo and behold, on April 22nd, only after his story was reported in the New York Times, Donald Trump's administration said, hey, we deported him to El Salvador because he was listed now as a missing person. And the New York Times ran a story of the delivery guy who went out to deliver food and disappeared. We now have confirmation that he is one of the many Venezuelans who are being held at U.S. taxpayers' expense in the horrific conditions in a foreign country and with no contact to the outside world. This is a National Immigrant Justice Center Director of Policy, whose name is Azadeh Erfani, said in a statement to the press. So the Trump administration bears full responsibility for Mr. Prada Vasquez's well-being, she said. Mr. Prada Vasquez's story is only the latest sign that we are living in an environment of mounting authoritarianism under the administration that is trampling basic principles of fairness and humanity. Now that we know that Mr. Prada Vasquez's location is in Venezuela, they said that they then called on the Trump administration to confirm his well-being and to return him to the United States of America to ensure that he has access to proper due process. This case is raising an alarm from immigration attorneys and advocates who fear that he is not the only one who has seemingly disappeared, or that there are more people who have been removed from the country than previously reported. Now, it's like he's fallen off the face of the earth or he dropped into some black hole, said one senior fellow of the American Immigration Council. Everyone deserves equal treatment under the law and the fair day in court as well, no matter what one's immigration status is, said the director of the American Immigration Council. Now, without fair process, the greater the risk for wrongful deportations or for someone to simply disappear within the system, as we're already seeing. Now, the lack of accountability and the lack of transparency for these deportations, that's the part that is scary, because it sets a precedence for unchecked abuse of power across our government, which is something that should concern every American. A leak of names on the initial Alien Enemies Act flight included 238 people, but not Prada. At least 27 other alleged gang members were deported to El Salvador in recent weeks. El Salvadoran President Nayib Bukele says that there are 252 Venezuelans from the United States in his custody. It is unclear whether others are missing, but people are walking around here saying that their family members who have legal status in the United States of America have gone missing, and they do fit a certain look. Immigration and Customs Enforcement did not disclose the location of this young man. The news media has requested additional information from ICE about Prada's whereabouts. Well, again, I will say, if you are a immigrant in the United States of America, walk with your legal documents that proves you have a right to be in the United States of America. A legal battle over Trump's authority to invoke the century-old wartime law to summarily deport immigrants from the United States is in the hands of the Supreme Court. And attorneys with the American Civil Liberties Union are asking whether the president can use that authority at all outside of wartime to target what he calls a criminal organization. But it's unclear whether Prada's family and attorneys have any legal recourse, as there is no record of his detention, even though they have found out where he is being held. According to the New York Times, Prada reached the United States on November 29th of 2024 after waiting to obtain an appointment through the CBP One app, an app that was created under Joe Biden's administration to provide a legal pathway for immigrants to make appointments for their asylum claims before reaching the southern border. He was allowed to stay in the United States of America while his case was being considered. So he had an open case before immigration courts, and he had legal documents that gave him legal rights to work and pay taxes in the United States of America until his case was finalized. Well, now he is outside of the United States of America, and as you know, that CBP One app has turned into the home app, or the app that you're supposed to self-deport through. One of the first things that Donald Trump did when he took office was he shut that app down. So there were people waiting at the border, and there were people around who were using the app to get an appointment with immigration in the United States of America, who started crying because that opportunity would no longer be happening for them, right? But with that said, he did have legal status to be here. He was here. He was working as a delivery driver, and he made that one wrong turn, which took him out of the country into Canada. And then next thing you know, he is in El Salvador. He is being classified as a gang member. And he, under these wartime acts that the president has invoked, he is in CCOT. That's all we know. One more time, if you are an immigrant in the United States of America, please be careful also not to venture outside of the United States of America if you have a pending immigration case open before the immigration courts. Your case has not been finalized, even if you have the right to be here and they've given you authority to work and pay taxes. Now, if you are just an immigrant and you have legal documents to be here, you need to have those documents on you at all times. Save yourself the trouble. I'll catch you on the next video. It's SouFLoTV. Just a little update. Leave your comments in the comment section below. Tell me what you think about this one. I'm out. Peace.